Hey guys, and welcome to Knit Grit, and today we're going to work on my owl ribbed. It's like an owl cable ribbing that you use for a slouchy beanie hat. The pattern's down below, and for this project you're going to need worsted weight yarn. I'm doing a striped beanie using the yarn that I got from my beanie bag that I received for my most recent review from the October 2016 beanie bag. I think this is a great color combination for this pattern. It works out really well because it's striped and you don't need a lot of each color. So I've got 50 yards of each of these skeins. They're all random different colors and yarns, so I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. You're also going to need a cabling needle. You're also going to need 16-inch circular size 6 knitting needles. So it's pretty quick. I can show you how I cast on 100 stitches. So really quickly, I cast on 100 stitches, and for the first 4 rounds, I'm going to knit 8 and purl the last 2. So knit 8, purl 2 all the way around until you get to your 4th round. And then we're going to start cabling, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So we knit 8 and purl 2 all the way around for 4 rounds. I also used a long tail cast on method just because I prefer that. It might cause a little bit of a ridge, but I find it's a lot easier to get into my cast on stitches when I do a long tail, even though it does technically knit the first round, but it doesn't really bother me in how that looks. Also, this is a repetition of, it's a 10 stitch repetition, so if you find that you've got a larger head, I would maybe cast on 110 to 120, also depending on how tightly you cable and how tightly you knit. I knit fairly, well, I knit fairly average, I guess, and I cast on 100 stitches, but it is a 10 stitch repetition, so if you feel the need to cast on more, feel free to do so. So I'm going to knit 8 and purl 2 until I get to the end of my 4th row, and then I will be right back. Okay, so now that you have knit 8, purl 2 for 4 rounds all the way around, next you're going to cable 4 to the back, which means you're going to take these first 2 stitches and you're going to take these 2 stitches and pull them off of the needle here and put them to the back of your work. Then you're going to knit the next 2 stitches. So that is a 4 stitch repetition. You are then going to take, once you've knit those 2, you're going to take your work that's on the needle, the cabling needle, and you're going to take it and put it back on your knitting needle, and you're going to knit those 2. Then you're going to cable 4 front, which means you're going to take these 2 stitches, put them on your cabling needle, pull them off, leave it to the front, and then knit the next 2 stitches. And once those 2 are knit, you're going to take this, and I like to pull it so that it can go back onto your knitting needle easier, and you're going to put it back onto your knitting needle, and you're going to knit those 2. Then, once you've done that, you're going to purl 2. These purls are going to be all the way up until you're done with your entire owl stitch there. So here, you're going to cable 4 back, cable 4 front, purl 2 all the way around. And when you're done, you're then going to knit 8, purl 2 for the next 6 rounds. So you're going to cable 4 back, cable 4 front, purl 2 all the way around, and then repeat knit 8, purl 2 for 6 more rounds. So, be right back once that's done. Okay, so we just finished knitting rounds 6 through 12, and now we're gonna basically repeat what we did for round 5 and our cabling round. We're going to knit 4 to the back, cable 4 to the back, and cable 4 to the front, and purl 2. And we're gonna do that all the way around, and then for row 14, this is row 13 that we're working on, but for row 14, we're going to repeat knitting 8, purling 2. So knit 8, purl 2. So for the next 2 rounds, basically the first round, 13, you're going to cable, and then on row 14, you're going to knit 8, purl 2. And once that's done, we'll come back. So we're gonna do exactly, be right back. Okay, so now that we cabled and we did our 1 round of knit 8, purl 2, we're gonna do another round, changing our color to our B color or secondary color, whatever you want to call it, and we're gonna knit 8, purl 2. Then we're literally just gonna knit around the entire thing for 8 rounds, change to another color, knit around for 8 rounds, change to another color, and continue doing that until we're at the length that we want it to be at and however many different color renditions you want to do. So here, the way that I do it is I just put my yarn with the long tail to the back and I just pick up like I was doing whatever, and then I tie them off in the back behind afterwards and sew it in. So I'm gonna knit 7, 8, and then purl 2 all the way around until I get to the beginning of the stitch again, and then I'm going to knit around for 8 rounds. And here you can easily see how this is the owl cable, because this looks like a little owl head shaped right here, and those are the little ear slash like kind of feather horns that they have. And then you can put 2 buttons right here and here on each one of the little owls. And for mine, I have 10 owls all the way around. So I'm going to continue to knit 8, purl 2 with my secondary color all the way around, and then I'm going to knit 8 rounds in each color, just straight up knitting the entire time until it's the length that I want. And usually for slouchy beanies, I go about 8 inches. So hopefully I will have enough yarn. I may not actually have enough yarn to do a slouchy beanie, just a normal size beanie. So I may actually substitute some other colors in here for that as well. So I'm gonna work this, see how far I get. I've got this much left of my 50 yards after I finished up my first part here, and this was a lot of rows. So I imagine I'll have enough for 2 more repetitions of just my 8 rounds. So hopefully that'll be enough. And I actually shouldn't need more than that, so I'll see at the end how close I get and whether or not I want to change to a different color. I think I'm going to stay neutral with this one because I think that's going to look really cute, and I want to see if this entire beanie bag will turn into a nice slouchy beanie. Alright, be right back when I get to the 8 inches that I want of just striped knitting of all the different colors. Okay, so here I've done what I want to do for my length for my slouchy beanie. I apologize for that annoying noise in the background. My fan is going because it is summer and it is really hot and I'm knitting. So, you know, that's a thing. So here I want to start doing my decreasing rounds. So you'll notice that this color is not the same as this color. I decided to add a pop of color. I didn't have enough yarn to, as it turns out, for my Lion Brand Heath color that I really liked to finish off, and I actually wanted to add a pop of color that was subtle, so I ended up going with just a skein that I had that was like a little bit left in one of my yarn bags. So here I'm going on my 3rd color, so I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now I'm on my 7th stripe of 10, and you'll notice here I did a knit 2 together, so I knit 8 and then I knit 2 together, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So I knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to take these 2 and knit those 2 stitches together. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'm going to knit 7, knit 2 together. Next round after that I'm going to knit 6, knit 2 together, and so on and so forth until I'm down to just knitting 2 together, knitting 2 together. And at the same time I'm going to keep with the striping pattern. If you aren't striping at all, you don't really have to worry about striping your stripes here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows in each stripe, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm going to end up tying in all my tails, but pretty much that's all there is to this awesome pattern. So I knit 8, knit 2 together, knit 7, knit 2 together, knit 6, knit 2 together, and so on and so forth, following my striping design as I'm going until I get down to the point where I'm knitting 2 together, knitting 2 together, and I will get down to 10 stitches doing that repetition because I cast on 100 you'll get down to, if say you cast on 120 because you've got like a fairly large head that you're doing this for, and you just or you're using tighter needles and you want to do that, you'll end up with 12 stitches. You're gonna weave your tail through the final stitches, and I'll show you how to do that once I get down to that. So I will be right back. Okay, now that I've done my decreases, I just kind of went with the cream the entire time because I knew, even though it's past 8 rows, it's like 10 rows. I didn't want to change to another color because I thought it would just look weird and off. I took my tail, I made a nice little long one, and I put my darning needle into it. And again, I'm sorry about my fan. It's the only thing that keeps things cool though. And I take, this is where the last one ends, and I'm going to take it and place it through all of these. I put them onto 2 hooks to try to make it simple. Come on, go through that 5th. Oh, I don't want to break the yarn though. There it is. I don't break the yarn. Look, and I pull it through, and then I go through my other side too, and I do the same thing where I go through all of them, including that last one, and I pull through. And what I like to do is pull those out, and I'll go through again, oftentimes, if I can actually do it. Where are you? There you are. Sorry, I'm looking at it without looking through then it's making it all blurry. And I go through all of those stitches again. I probably should have done it with it still attached to the needle still there, but I'll make it work. Go through, go through, go through. And I like to just pull it nice and tight. So there, I've got a nice and tight thing there. Then I'll take my darning needle and go right through the center. I've got so many strings that I gotta sew in. So here you can see where my darning needle goes through, and I pull it nice and tight, making this cute little top. Then I'll flip it inside out, and I'll weave in all my ends. I'll do that afterwards though. So for right now, that's pretty much all there is to it. I got my nice part here, and what a lot of the times, I don't personally do it just because I don't really like having that many buttons on my forehead, but what I've seen other people do with this pattern is they'll put 2 buttons on the eye part of where each of these little owls are. I think it looks like an owl as is, and I think it's super cunning, which is Manor slang for cute. You'll probably hear me say that a lot. Super cunning. And I love the color tones that they have in this. There we go. I can actually, like, you know, zoom in and make it so that it's clear. So that's pretty much it. That's all there is to this pattern. If you are confused about any part of it, I have a printable PDF down below. Tons of people have done this pattern. I love it. It's a really good design. I'm going to be updating the PDF itself so that it looks like my more updated version of the PDF, and I'm going to do that before I post this video, so you don't really have to worry about it. I hate these types of needles. They're bent, and I know a lot of people prefer them, but I don't know why they bug me. I'd never find a use for them when I'm darning. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Be sure to look out for Ravelry. Post on our Ravelry page. We love seeing finished products. Alright, be sure to hit us up on all our social media links. They are down below. And share on Ravelry. Until next time, guys. Bye!